How's it going, everybody? It is I, Skype Knight, and I am back here with another video. Now, today it's something a little bit different, and it's more like a top 5 thing, because it's top 5 worst zombies guns, and this is only for Black Ops 3. I'm not counting any of the guns from other games. As long as you can get it from the box in Black Ops 3, it counts. Well, except for, the only exceptions are starting room weapons and wonder weapons, but those shouldn't be on here anyway. So yeah, with those two rules, let's get into it with the top 5 worst zombies weapons in Black Ops 3. With number 5, let's go. So at number 5, we have the Vesper. Now, some of you might be confused, some of you might understand, but the reason why this is at number 5 is that 1, it isn't the worst weapon, but 2, it isn't the best. And that's why it's on this list. And actually, no, the reason why it's on this list is the ammo. The ammo doesn't last long. Like, probably half the weapons on this list. It hardly even lasts one round. Like, it can get you through round 5 and 6, and then you're out of bullets. And I've been looking into some of these guns, and it says that apparently here, with the Vesper, it fires 1,200 rounds per minute. That's a lot of bullets in 1 minute. And for zombies, that isn't really that great. Like, some weapons can probably get through with high fire rates, but not the Vesper. It's just too much. It's like the Scorpion Evo. It just doesn't last long, but it's good. It's not good in zombies, but it's good in multiplayer. That's all I could say. And oh yeah, and also the recoil. It's very hard to actually control it. It's almost impossible, and the magazine just runs it. You go through a magazine in about 3 seconds, and the damage isn't the best. But yeah, it's just they're better weapons, but if you get it as like your first box weapon, it isn't the worst. Anyway, let's move on to number 4. Now, at number 4, we have the Pharaoh. Some of you might be confused on why I put this at 4 instead of like 1 or like the bottom 3. And that's because in my opinion, it isn't as bad as everyone says it is. Like, I feel like everyone makes it to be, says, jeez, I can't talk. Everyone, says, like, it's the worst weapon ever. Well, the Shiva is, but, everyone says the Shiva, but if they're not referring to the Shiva, they're referring to this. And the reason why I don't find it to be as bad is just, if you land those, it doesn't have that much recoil. So if you land those headshots, you can kill. The reason why it's worse than the Vesper is because it dies off quicker. It just stops doing damage a lot faster than the Vesper does, so that's why it's below. But yeah, that's just the main problem with the Pharaoh, though, in general, is that the damage, like, if you don't land those headshots, the damage is absolutely terrible. Because if you don't land those headshots, it's gonna die out at round 5, but if you actually hit them in the head, it will go a bit further than that. It won't just die out in round 10. It will go maybe until 15 or something. I don't know. So, and also, the ammo with it lasts longer. It doesn't last that long, but it lasts longer than with the Vesper. And the reload, I think, is actually a bit quicker. Oh yeah, also, it actually has a bit of piercing, though, which really helps, again, when you're landing those headshots. It really helps, and it's not hard to land the headshots, because, like I said earlier, it has pretty much no recoil. So you kill one, you shoot one, you kill like 3 of them. But again, it just dies off really quickly, so it's just not that great. Anyway, let's move on to number 3. Coming in at number 3, we have the VMP. And some of you might be confused, some of you might absolutely agree, and others might be which is how I can probably sum up this whole list like that, but still. But the reason why I have this thing at number 3 is basically the exact same reason I had the Vesper at number 5. It's a Vesper, but the stats are a bit lower. Like, it's a Vesper, but the fire rate is a bit slower. There's more ammo, and it has less recoil. So, explaining that, you might be saying, that sounds better. Well, except for the problem that it doesn't actually do anything. It is still exactly like the Vesper, except it does less damage. It is a Vesper, but less damage. That's not even a joke. The only difference is the firing speed is a little bit slower, but it's not that much. It's still like the Vesper where you shoot, and it's just impossible to control it. And you just you fire a whole magazine of 30 bullets, and you only hit 10 of them. And it's just impossible to kill anything with this thing when you can't aim with it. Also, I used to have a curse, like, I would call, like, the curse of the VMP or something like that, where I would constantly be getting it. I could spin 3 boxes and get that thing 3 times in a row, sometimes. It's ridiculous. Yeah, the personal preferences aside. It's just, like I said, it's a Vesper, but less damage and more recoil. That's literally it. I guess it does have a few more bullets, but it has like 10. Actually, it has like an extra. It has pretty much an extra round of bullets compared to the compared to the Vesper. Either that or it's 1 round less. I don't really know how to count. But yeah, it's again for like the 15th time. It's a worse Vesper, and you can't hit the headshots like the Pharaoh, so it doesn't do as much damage. Anyway, that really long rant aside, let's move on to number 2 of this list. Roll a transition. At number 2. Yep, we're already at number 2. But yeah. Number 2 is the KRM-262. Or I'll just refer to it as the KRM when I name it in this list any more times. Jeez, I can't speak English. But yeah, the KRM, the reason it's on here is just that shotguns in general usually aren't that great for zombies. I only know 2 shotguns ever that have been decent zombies, and that's the Haymaker and the Brecci, but that's because those are full auto. Most shotguns aren't full auto. So those 2 are probably the only ones that are actually good in zombies. Or at least, you know, the ones that you can use. But yeah, the KRM. I'll say right now, if you hit a zombie with this, it's dead. Like, it probably won't survive. Like, if you're close to it, it won't survive, because that's how shotguns work. You know, as they do. The magazine, it's not that big. It has 8 bullets. And it's one of those shotguns where you put in every bullet one at a time, so the reload is very long. But the biggest problem, the reason why I have this at number 2 in my list, or just on the list in general, is that if you miss 1 shot while being chased, you might die. Like, if you're just playing the game, and let's say you're cornered, if you shoot and it misses, you are dead. There's nothing you can do. Even if you have Jug, you can't do anything. Because that 1 shot was your only way of actually hitting them before they hit you. And so that's kind of the big problem here. That, the fire rate is so slow, or just the fact that it's a pump shotgun, which means like I just said, the fire rate is fast. So if you miss a couple of shots, you might end up just killing yourself. And it's actually kind of it's surprisingly easy for miss shots. And while explaining this, I just realized this might just be a bit of a personal preference or, well, a problem with me. But I don't really care. It's just a bit inconvenient and annoying. So that's why I have it at number 2. Oh yeah, wasn't there something else in here? What was it? 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 There was something else I was gonna say, getting it. Anyway. Yeah, let's, again, roll the transition, and let's see what number 1 is. And I bet you, all of you already have guessed what it is. So let's go. And number 1 is, of course, the Shiva. Hands down, it has to be the Shiva. And I could just end it right here, and because everyone here probably already knows why. But for the sake of a video, I'm going to explain why. It's number 1 in my list of the top 5 worst zombies weapons. Well, BO3 zombies weapons. And, so, yeah. Here we go. Damage is bad. Even with headshots, damage is bad. Ammo, like, the magazine size is horrible. Ammo doesn't last long. Pack-a-punched, still can't even one-shot zombies at, like, round 5. Even if you pack-a-punch it. That's kind of it. Everything. The accuracy, I don't know what I could say about that. I will say it has no recoil, but it just can't kill anything. There's no point in having it. Also, I'm not taking into account double pack with this list. I forgot to mention that at the start. Double pack is not being counted at all, because every weapon could be, literally any weapon could be on this list. Like, I could put the dingo on this list if double pack was involved, but yeah. So, just no matter what you do, or what you try to do, the Shiva will always fail. It will never do anything. There's no point getting it. That's just it. And actually, no, wait. Now, damn it, yeah. The worst part, like the absolute worst thing about it, is that it's also a box weapon. So you can spin a box and just get the Shiva, which is so frustrating. Like, I finally get to the room, I spin my first box, and I get a Shiva. It's annoying. And the Shiva has no redeeming qualities. It doesn't even feel good to shoot. Again, no damage. Packed and unpacked. Headshot damage isn't even that great either. Again, even the ammo, it just sucks. And it's also a semi-auto, which automatically makes it bad as well. It's just not good. Again, there's no point in getting it. I hate it, and everyone probably knew that was going to be number 1 on this list, but yeah, there you go. Top 5 least favorite weapons, actually no, not least favorite. Top 5 worst Black Ops 3 zombies weapons, excluding double pack and starting room weapons. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this list. It was frustrating saying these things, because I absolutely hate these weapons. But yeah, don't be afraid to yell at me if you like one of these weapons. I honestly won't care if you do it, so just go ahead, do it if you wanna. Yeah, I think this is a pretty accurate list. The only one that I could probably trade out would be the Vesper, but still, I still hate. The gun still isn't that great. Yeah, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see all of you in the next episode, which I'm gonna try to do on a game called No Man's Sky. I think it's what it's called. So yeah, I'll see you all in the next video. Sky Knight, out.